Locascio. I am I am the executive director of Japan America Society of Colorado. And some other very important people from our world are on this event right now. Jessica Livingston, who's helping me run the Zoom and will help take questions. Junko Goodwin, who is at Tagawa Gardens right now and is going to walk us through this project. Yoko Watanabe, who is our newest member of our team, our Joy coordinator. So thank you all, and thank you all for joining us today. What a great group we've got. This is being recorded, so if you have not had a chance to purchase your supplies yet, you can do that afterwards. I'm actually joining from out of town, so I'm planning to purchase mine to pick it up maybe this weekend. So that is an option. We're so grateful to Tagawa Gardens for working with us on this event. They have really gone above and beyond to put something really nice together for us, and we look forward to working with them more in the future. And for more on our partners and today's event, I'm going to turn it over to Junko Goodwin. Thanks, Junko.
Hello, everyone. I'm Junko. I'm the Education and Culture Coordinator for JASC. Today, we got this opportunity to work with Tagawa Garden and talk about this Kokedama making. Before we start this Kokedama project, I like to start with a little bit about the Japanese aesthetics. So to start with that, I have a video, and we'll watch about 2 minutes of this video about this Kokedama temple, which is Koke temple. It's known in Japan. So let's.
Hoji Temple in Kyoto. It's also known as Kokedama, or the Moss Temple. Sugikoke, or cedar moss, synonymous with Saihoji, which resembles the Japanese cedar, is a standard in Japanese gardens. This species grows in clumps, adding form to the garden. The gardens here are home to over 120 types of moss. But according to temple records, roughly 600 years ago, it was a sand garden. Hit by war and major floods, the original garden was destroyed. Eventually, moss grew naturally in the abandoned garden, gradually covering it completely. A nearby river keeps the humidity high, making it most suitable for moss growth. Saihoji's garden has come to symbolize the Japanese ideal of wabi-sabi, the beauty of impermanence and imperfection.
Junko, we cannot hear you.
Oh, it was muted. Okay. All right. So that was a Saihoji. It's in Kyoto. and it is known for the moss, known as a moss temple. And it talked a little bit about wabi sabi. It's a word it's used in Japan to explain Japanese aesthetics. And this concept is very well known in Japan, but it's very difficult to explain to other people, even among the Japanese. And I just want to try to explain a little bit of that. And that wabi sabi is an explanation of the word for something simple, something not perfect, but we feel the beauty in it. Something like a garden. It's not gorgeous with a bunch of flowers and colorful at all, but as it is, it's beautiful. And even the things like old wood, old log that fall on the ground, they are still beautiful on its own. So that is wabi sabi. And you can see this in gardening, Japanese gardening, as well as some crafts. You see it in a tea ceremony as well. So that is my way of explaining the wabi sabi, something simple, something old, something the Japanese hold very important in our life. And you may even see that in a haiku. It's a poetry of Japanese. So we are today here to talk about this moss ball, and koke is the Japanese word for that. Okay, but before that, maybe you have some question about this concept of Japanese beauty, wabi sabi. If you do, let me know. You can just unmute yourself and ask a question, or type it in the chat box as well. Any questions? All right. Okay. Maybe you will come up with a question later on. Okay. So now I want to introduce my master of master of the plant. Okay, Lauren is from Tagawa Garden. Today she's going to show us how to make kokedama. Okay, Lauren.
I love the wabi sabi.
You do?
Yeah, I had a feeling I kind of knew what it was, but you explained it very well.
Oh,
so
thank you. I
no,
hope so.
you did.
And I'm the student today. So
Now, wabi sabi accounts for a lot of what we see in Japanese gardening in general. doesn't it? Yeah,
right,
the
right.
simplicity and the,
Simplicity and even something that's not perfect.
Yeah.
So that's what we feel the beauty in.
exactly beauty where you find it, as you find it.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
love that. Maybe we should do a class on that. Bring Junko back. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? A
Well, I
walking
gotta
tour or
study a
something.
little more then.
All right, we'll let you study up. So
All right.
my name is Luann Aiken. I am the garden ambassador here at Tagawa's, which covers a lot of ground, but it also, I do a fair bit of teaching, and with COVID kind of changing the landscape, we were doing a fair number of Zoom calls, and I have done pretty much all of them. So when Junko approached us and said, can you show us how to do Kokedama? I said, only if she's up here with me. Right?
Yes.
So
I
so
said yes.
you are an eager student, and we promise not to poke any fun at all, because it's a sloppy process, but it's really kind of fun.
I'm
Let
ready.
me show you what we have. And I think this is the one you've chosen.
Yes,
this
I
plant.
did.
This is called a terrace fern. If I can, let me get it in the middle of the white. There it shows up. There we go. And it's a beautiful little fern, part sun, part shade. It just wants to go a little bit of everywhere, which I think falls right into your
I
wabi
like
sabi.
it.
doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yes.
Slightly disorganized.
Yeah,
Not perfect.
Imperfect.
Imperfect. And so we're going to make some of these today. These we made, Megan, about 3 weeks ago. I have had friends who came to an in-person class a couple of years ago, and their kokedama lasted a little over a year.
Oh,
So it's not necessarily, like a bouquet or something that's temporary. Don't assume it's forever, but it's a lot longer than some of the other things you could do.
Okay.
And we have never tried taking one out of its moss ball, a year or so, 8 months, whatever, down the road, and Kokedama-ing it. I'm sorry for that. But I don't see why it wouldn't work as long as the plant itself and the root system itself is
Okay.
healthy and has been maintained in a proper
Okay.
way. All right. So they're just so much fun. I started, actually Ms. Megan here behind the camera kind of introduced me to the concept of Kokedama. And so I was poking around on the internet, and there's a lady in New York. I think she's in Manhattan, downtown apartment. And she's kind of like the Kokedama queen. And I think she probably has some special reinforcement in the ceiling. She has Kokedama everywhere.
Okay.
And one of them is like bigger than a basketball. So I got to tell you, don't do that unless you have reinforced beams and you figure out a way to water it without flooding your floor.
Yeah.
But it can take so many different forms. There are some people online, and I'm jealous because they don't have nearly that kind of artistic bent, where when they go to wrap the Kokedama string
Okay.
around it, it comes out looking like a wicker basket.
Oh.
It's just beautiful.
Oh,
So,
wow.
take the challenge, but we are here to study the beauty of imperfection. I'm so glad you gave me that segue, because this is what a lot of this amounts to. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our ingredients, which is maybe 2 or 3 cups each of a mixture of peat moss, and really top quality potting soil. And we've mixed it all together. So it's 50-50, half and half. I'm going to dump that out into our,
Okay.
now you could do this outside, which would make a lot of sense. You can hose down the whole
Yeah,
thing when you're
yeah.
done. Because it can get a little messy. We're going to use these trays to begin with, and I know you can't quite see all that we have. Let me do this. There we go. So we just kind of spread it out. And our next step is to revert to our childhood and make something resembling mud pies.
Oh,
she's
mad
into it.
ball.
So it's going to take a little more water than you might think. And our goal is to mix it all together, kind of like kneading bread. And we can always squeeze out the extra water if we have to.
Okay.
But we want to make it nice and squishy. Work that in. This is as close as I get to cooking. This isn't even cooking, is it? All right. So make sure you incorporate all of that dry potting mix and peat moss. We have a little challenge for Junko coming up that she doesn't know about.
It's not going together.
Well, a little more water. See, it's
Oh,
not going
okay.
together. That's perfect. That's exactly what the people say the first time they make
It
it.
doesn't.
And you think it's going to be so sloppy, and it kind of is, but too much water is always better than too little.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
because you can squeeze it out.
And I'm gonna do more.
You can add more.
Okay.
I want you to see this. Okay, so there's, trying to get it against that white background. There we go. You can see there's a lot of water still dripping out. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
All right. Good so far, dearie?
I think so.
Okay.
And how big do I want this?
Well, that's a great question. How big should we make the moss
Yeah.
ball? Generally speaking, it needs to be in proportion with the root system of the plant that you have picked.
Oh,
So as
okay,
soon as
so
we're
a lot
done
more.
kind of getting to where our balls are in good proper shape, really press it, really press it.
Okay, I can do that.
And think, for the average Kokedama, think maybe grapefruit size.
Oh, I see.
Give you
Okay,
a sense.
that makes sense.
Sometimes we have done several classes on Kokedama in person. It's always fun to see how people's ball turns into something not quite so ball shaped. We had a volcano one time, and we've had a pear.
Oh, wow.
And then we've had
Okay.
one was a carrot. We did have to ask her to go back and put a little more soil on it. But this is very
Well,
kind of zen.
this
I
is
think,
nice.
Doesn't it
This
feel
is
good?
fun.
It's cool.
yeah, I
tactile.
love to put the hands on the dirt, so that's a good thing.
And we always tell our kiddos when we would tour little guys that if dirt is what you track in on the bottom of your shoes, this is soil. This is
Okay.
magic.
Okay.
Dirt's just dirt, right?
So you're making it
yeah.
really tight.
I'm making it really tight because
Okay.
we're about to put Junko to the test. No, actually, we're about to put
I
the
am,
Kokedama.
I am afraid of that test.
We've only had it go afoul one time. I'll tell you about
Oh,
that.
was that right? Oh,
We
no,
had a group
mine might be a
of
second one.
about 25 ladies coming for a bridal shower.
So what was the
Okay, here.
fault of that one? Not
That-
enough water?
No, it's a bad aim.
Okay.
So this is what we
I'm
call,
good at it.
this is what we call, and this should be good. And we can always add a little bit more to round it out if we decide that our root
Mm.
system is kind of bulky. So this is
Okay.
what we call the TOS test. And it holds together. Your turn.
Sure about this, okay?
Toss
What's this?
Perfect. The time it went wrong, the sweet lovely tossed it and it went about 40 feet down.
I know what
And the
I
room
need.
cracked up. It was all very good, very fun. Okay, we're gonna set these aside.
Okay.
Okay, put it right there. All right, and we're gonna take this, and we'll keep these kind of here for a second, just in case we need to add more. So I'll
Okay,
probably
I'll
set it
put
over
it
on,
up
yeah,
here.
that's perfect. Now,
All
step
right.
number 2, I want to introduce you to our sheet moss. This is lovely sheet moss. It's not alive, although every now and then we get a little wee tiny sort of baby tears weed seed out of it. But this comes in varying sizes. It's always flat. I have seen people try to make Kokedama with sphagnum, you know, kind of stringy
Okay.
moss. And it's not impossible, but this works a little better, especially for first time people, because it has
Like
a
me.
little, yeah, I guess it has a little bit of body to it.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so this is what
yes.
we're going to use, and we're going to make sure that we put the green side out. And I don't know if you can see that. The brown side is what was on the ground. The green side is what was up toward
Yeah.
whatever light it was
Okay.
growing in.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to
Okay.
introduce you. Now comes the fun part, and we're going to go over and see what she would like for.
Ah.
Actually, what I can do is bring them up here. We're talking about small plants. And you know, the lady who did the basketball sized one probably wasn't using a small plant, I would guess. So these are plants from our fairy department, and the pots are quite small, but you don't
Okay.
have to go with that only. You can go with larger plants like,
This one's a little bigger.
yeah, that one's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And these are options too over here.
I
next to-
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
you wanna
Okay.
kinda hold those up and see.
Yeah. Sure.
So that's a
This
beautiful
is
little
a little
Dracaena.
bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what you want to tackle, especially first time out.
Okay.
I think we might have better luck, again, first time out, if we chose from some of the smaller root balls.
Okay.
Take your pick, love.
I'll
That
go
guy?
with this guy.
That is called a terrace fern, spelled
Terrace.
P-T-E-R-I-S, terrace fern.
Okay.
Do save the tags because you want to know how to display it
Okay.
when you're home. Some people also call it a silver lace fern. And I
Okay.
was just light shade.
Yeah.
So this is important because you can't, just because it's Kokedama, it's getting a different kind of TLC, it still has to be in the right place
Okay.
to prosper and
Okay.
be healthy. So we're going to set that aside.
All right.
I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take this little coleus, this little copper colored coleus.
Okay.
So
So this has a brown and a little
Yeah,
green on the
and what you-
edges.
yeah, exactly. The other option you could do is go with something like this, which is the Lismachia. I'm sure they've given a cute little fairy name. Cindy's Lismachia. That's helpful.
Okay.
Okay, so which one do you like of these? I'm good with either one.
All right. Let's try this
Try
brown
the, okay, we're
thing.
gonna set these other guys
Yes.
aside. Give us a little working space here.
Okay.
Good, thank you, love.
Mhm.
Okay. So we're gonna set that aside for the moment, bring back our tray. And this one, just for the record, takes part sun to part shade. This is really important stuff. You worked hard to make your Kokedama. All right,
Mhm.
now,
Okay.
I'm gonna push my soil to one side. And now we're gonna gently pull this out.
Okay.
Pulling is probably the wrong word. You just kind of squeeze the pot.
Pot
so
and
it
then
falls
dig it
out,
out.
right?
Okay.
Now,
All right.
this is the part that people kind of wince at. You have a
Okay.
wince.
I don't know that word.
It's like,
Okay.
okay. All right. So these have beautiful root systems. Let's see.
Yeah,
yours. Oh,
yeah.
yours is probably just fine. Mine has a
Oh,
lot.
okay.
So we're going to
Yeah,
start.
it's
Yeah, this one's
dense.
quite. So we're going to tear it open. Let me do it toward the camera. Kind of
Okay.
gently pull it open.
I don't have to, huh?
You do.
I do.
Yeah,
Okay.
you want special treatment. No, ma'am.
All right.
So and the goal is to pull away. We're trying not to damage the roots too much. You hear them popping. We
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to remove some of the soil.
Ooh.
because this whole thing, we needs to be flatter as a root system when we go to put it inside our
Okay, so
ball.
you want to kind of,
Yeah, just see if you can
open
loosen
that.
with your thumbs, maybe just tickle away some of the soil.
okay.
And there are plants like ivies, you think, and they do make really pretty kokedama.
Yeah.
But an ivy in its pot is really a whole bunch of little stems. And so
Okay.
that's great. They make great kokedama, but you have to be ready to kind of lasso them and hold them in place. They're not
I
going to
see,
stick
I see.
together the way some do, but they make beautiful kokedama, really do.
Mm.
So we're just going to tickle these away
So take all these.
as much as you can without,
Okay,
yeah, that's
without-
perfect. That's perfect.
Okay.
And sometimes with a tight root system like I have,
Mhm.
it's harder to get the soil out. Some plants, if you pull them open, like
They
I bet
just
this-
fall
yeah, I bet this
apart.
guy, this little philodendron. I'm not going to take him apart, Megan. It's okay. See?
Oh,
The-
yeah, because it's
Yeah.
very thick.
So maybe take a
roots.
little less of the soil away so you're not
Okay.
looking at a bare root
I see.
plant.
Okay.
Okay. All right. How we doing over there?
Is
You're
this
doing
good?
good. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're going to gently, lovingly
I love it.
start to flatten it out a little bit. So we're taking the bulk of the soil away. So we're gonna just kind of make as flat as we can
Hmm.
to go inside our kokedama ball.
So this
Seems-
goes inside.
It goes inside.
Okay.
No magic involved. Well, it's kind of magic, but it's not the kind
I think it
that
is.
requires a fuzzy bunny and a wand. Okay,
Like the magic.
yes. Okay, so good.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
we're gonna
I
set
feel
that
good.
aside. We're
Okay.
gonna set this aside. We should be done with that. And we'll take our moss back, Miss Megan. Thank you, love. Okay, I'm gonna move these out of the way just a bit. Just want to set them over there. It's good. Just so folks can see your artistry. I'm sure you will
Yes.
have artistry. Okay.
Me?
Now what I'm gonna do is make sure we just lay this out slightly out of the way. You're gonna need a piece, sort of a seamed up, a connected piece of moss that you will connect with a string, about 10 inches across, give or take, depending on the size. So make
Okay.
sort of, kind of like making a pie,
Okay.
you know?
So kind of aim to be
Yeah,
circle. Yeah.
circle-ish,
Okay.
unless you have a pyramid in mind.
No,
We know
I'm
you're,
gonna follow the instruction.
oh, that's not so hard sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
I can see it in your eyes.
How?
All right,
Okay.
we're gonna do that.
Oh, I can smell this.
Does it smell good?
I
Feels
love
like a
this.
forest.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Okay, we'll hold some in reserve. And we have soaked this moss
Oh,
really well.
Oh, is that
like
right?
Dunked it down. So it makes it a lot more pliable, makes it
Okay.
easier to stick it together, kind of
Okay.
hold when we
Okay.
press it together.
all right.
All right, so set that aside because we'll may or may not need more. Uh-oh, okay. Now, the question is finding ourselves just a little bit of space here. The next step is to crack our ball.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So you kind
Oh,
of wrap your fingers around it. So it's kind of,
yeah,
it's enveloped by your fingers and you just split it open in the middle.
in the middle.
Perfect. You didn't know you could do that.
I didn't know.
See, I told her, I warned her, I said, some of this is going to feel like there's no way this is going to work.
I
And it
know.
works, okay.
It's like,
So
how do I
We
put
now
that in
have
it?
two fairly equal
Mhm. Not a
halves
ball.
of our kokedama ball. We're going to take our plant that we just tried to flatten out as best we can. We're going to lay it on top, tuck it in there. I can tell now I'm going to need more soil because this is you're smaller.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is where you want to make sure that the top
I
where
see.
the soil was anyway
yeah.
is now even with its new bed of soil.
Nice.
So, okay. All right. So all that's going to squish in there. This is the part that looks, now see, I've already broken mine. But that's all right. We're just going to reshape that ball.
All right. Imperfect is perfect.
That's exactly, I love the way you think. I really do. Does that include dust and
Oh, yeah.
dog hair?
Oh, dog hair.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe not so
okay.
much dog hair. I haven't heard that one before.
I know. I've never heard that question.
All the perfect things in my home. Okay, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to make sure that the soil isn't too far up the stems of the plant. And
Okay.
then with all that cushion of soil around it, we really can compress pretty well.
Okay.
All right.
So you don't want these root to sticking out.
It's not, a root or two is no big deal because they'll have the
Oh, yeah.
the
Okay.
soil,
Okay.
the,
Okay.
moss to kind of, and then
Oh,
you get into air pruning, which I think
Ah.
they just don't want to grow into the open air.
Okay.
There are some plants that we have called the rabbit's foot fern. And I love to make kokedama with them because their roots, it's kind of like orchid roots that come out of the pot.
Oh,
They come out over the
Over the-
roundness of the ball, and you just swear there's a spider.
Spider
a giant
inside.
spider. I love that kind of
That's
stuff.
good.
I'm
That's
a little
good.
twisted, but I just love that stuff. So if you
Okay.
have cracks like I do, just take some more soil and patch them up. You don't have to.
I am
Your baby cracks.
closer.
I have like seismic
So,
cracks. So
okay.
just see what we can do. We're not going to toss this.
Okay,
So
good. Because I'm
relax.
not going to trust
You're not
myself
gonna-
here.
Even if I asked you to, you wouldn't do it,
I
would you?
wouldn't do it. I got this
She'd
far.
have a stubborn lady here, folks. Okay. All right. Pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Our moss is face down, green side down. Okay. So, and it's kind of compact.
Okay.
Kind of press it together. You want
Oh,
to come down for a little bit. What do you think, Miss Megan? Just a little? Yeah, we'll bend over too. Okay, now we're going to start to kind of swaddle. Do you know that word?
I don't.
Swaddle. It's what you do with a
Swaddle.
baby when you bundle up in a blanket.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Oh, so this is my baby.
this is your baby now. It's your baby
Uh-huh.
kokedama. Now you may not get everything up in kind of one go, but just
Okay.
kind of keep turning. And you may have put down too much moss, which is just fine.
Oh, it's okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want-
Because I think I have quite a bit.
But the deeper the moss is around your ball, I mean, within reason, the more it's going to shelter that soil and keep
Okay.
it moist.
Inside, yeah.
I think this is where the one that was a volcano came in. 'Cause it was pushing on the top, and not on the bottom.
Okay.
And just
Well-
press it in, and then check around and see if we have something that's sort of kind of roundish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing great, love. Doing great.
Good. Yeah, I've
So-
got this.
You've got it, Diane.
Beginner's luck.
He's a good teacher.
Okay, that's
Okay.
right. That's right. My mistake.
All right, no. You wish red or green twine?
I'll do the grid.
Do we do the red? A comment, a caution about the string that you would use. A lot of people love to make kokedama with natural fibers. So it's like sisal or jute or cotton even. Because we water these by dunking them and leaving them in a tub for,
Oh,
5 or 10
yeah.
minutes. Eventually that organic type string is going to begin to decay and rot.
Okay.
So then we learned it the hard way. We tried it. And then pretty soon they kind of just shred. And then you've got a bit of a mess.
Right.
So this is, I think I've got nylon. I think you have something that's almost a plasticky.
Yeah,
it's
looks
got a little
like it.
Something
Mhm.
boundary. So this is about 6 yards of twine. You can use big twine. You can use little twine. You can use 2 strings at once if you want a little.
Oh,
You
okay,
know.
like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
the twine,
Okay.
and we're going to
Where do we start?
restart. I used to say around the bottom, but because it's so easy to hide the ends in the inside the moss, I'm just going
Okay.
to start kind of around the equator. Think of it, and then you're going to tie it as
You
tight
tie it.
as you can.
Okay.
Right, and I'll hold your center, and you got it.
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
My center's
Okay.
right there.
Right there. And
Okay.
you do a double knot.
All right. Ah,
Good to go.
yes.
And I'll let you hold my center.
Yeah.
Good.
So this takes 2 people's work.
If this is really skinny thread too.
Okay.
We've been known to do, Megan doesn't with 2 hands and no help all the
Okay.
time. So here's the part that may seem, to me, is the trickiest of all. I'm
Okay.
gonna go back and I'm gonna cut a little bit of that tail off of the
The
end.
first.
So leave
okay.
yourself a good inch and a half.
Okay.
And we will tuck that inside the kokedama ball. So picking it up as gingerly as you can.
Oh, mine looks
Uh-oh.
like a volcano.
I wanted her so much. It's gonna be fine.
Okay.
It's gonna be fine.
Well,
She's living proof that people.
volcano.
How do you
I
say
didn't-
volcano?
Kazan,
So is this
fire mountain.
okay? Is this a
Kokev Kazan.
Cocoa volcano. All right. Okay. Now this is where we start to wrap. Now, the artistic among you are perfectly fine. And this is a bit tricky as we wrap as hard and we're tying it, we're pulling it as hard as we can. Just roll it
Oh.
around your head and
Okay.
don't worry about squishing the roots.
Oh,
Just
okay.
really as hard as you can. Hard, hard, hard. And then once you're going, you're going to start to kind of go up and down and over and around and catch as much of the moss as you can. But I
Okay.
find the easiest way to do this is to just roll it around in your hand. And remember, you
Ah,
can't go and strangle the base of the root system,
because
frown
it's
on that.
inside. Yeah. Yeah.
right? Go down and catch the loose bits of moss and just keep going around and around.
Oh,
Trying to
well.
distribute the string somewhat evenly, but then again, we go back to the beauty of imperfection. don't we?
Yes. This is perfect.
Really pull tight, love. Really pull tight.
Really pull tight.
Yeah,
I can't break the string, can I?
you really can't.
Okay.
You've been working out lately.
I have. I did this morning.
Okay, well, then
So,
perhaps you can break the string. but just remember to keep
No.
catching the pudgy loose bits
okay.
and trying to distribute the string
So going
back, forth, up,
back
down.
and forth.
Kind of have to go up because
Vertical.
if I was to go like this, it's not going to hold.
Okay.
Right.
Yes,
So sort of
yes.
opposite ends of the ball as you turn,
Diagonal,
Yeah.
kind of.
looking for those pokey out spots. And then we
Okay.
can still reshape it a bit, maybe not yours, but
I will.
no,
By
it'll be
the
fine.
end, it'll work out.
I'll see what I have. We're going to fix that. I have a lopsided thing. So that's where we just keep,
This is not bad.
not bad.
for
she
the
says.
first
Well
time.
done. Well done.
Oh, this is so much fun.
You could have a Kokedama party
I can.
before the weather changes or in your garage. Or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Where have I not caught? I haven't caught anything there, so I want to catch there. Go up and around, really tight. I can't emphasize that this is almost to the point of sort of hurting your finger.
Oh,
Like it's
wow.
gouging,
Okay.
you know. into-
We
into-
can't hurt the plant.
You can't hurt the plant. It's so
Okay.
sheltered in there. Could hurt your finger.
Yeah.
And again, this again is about 6 yards.
So
of
I
a-
gotta use all this
We
probably,
don't have to, but I would
but
advise
that's
you
the
to,
guide.
especially
fence?
since, yeah,
Okay.
6 yards will be enough. I tend to never not use the full thing.
Oh,
Partly
oh,
because,
okay.
unless it becomes an aesthetic thing, but partly because I just think more is better
Mhm.
in terms of holding the ball together. And then as you go, look and see if there's a really bare spot that you haven't put any string at all.
It helps to have a colorful string.
It does, yeah. And we've done, and that's the other thing about that organic like sisal or jute,
Uh-huh.
it disappears.
Oh,
once
yeah,
it's
I
smeared.
can tell.
Yeah.
Because, and it's, especially it's tight in there, so.
Yeah. So around, down, up.
What would you say? Is this ball or volcano?
Oh, you definitely made it more ball than volcano.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
you have certainly, not that there's anything wrong with volcano.
Volcano,
but,
that's right.
you know,
I've just made myself full of it in the beginning, so.
I knew you were spunky. I knew you would
Yeah,
push back.
I will.
All
Okay.
right.
Oh,
These make
I'm
really
ending.
great gifts. It's a really great little bit of entertainment for a
Yeah, I
party.
can just imagine, even in the winter.
Uh-huh. And you saw, it's as long as you have like a tray or something, it's messy, but it's not horrible.
Yes,
You know.
and I've seen the picture where they hang them from the ceiling.
Yes, that basketball sized one was hanging from the ceiling. I can't figure out how she waters it. I really can't.
Yeah.
But she had like,
Oh,
maybe
that's
100.
that's a question. So how do you water?
when we're
them?
done, we're gonna take these very modestly sized ones and sit it in a tub or a sink of warm
Okay.
water. And
Warm water.
warm water. And that's just because I try to be kind to the plant.
Oh, you don't have to. I see.
I would do cold water. The plant might not like it. So we are very close to being done.
Yeah,
You too.
I am. I'm
Okay, you can
almost
take a
at
look
the
and make sure
end.
there's nothing that you've neglected. No pokey out
No
moss.
neglection. I look good. Mine
Yeah.
looks good, I say.
I think it looks terrific. You never want to divide the plant that way.
Yeah.
With the string.
Yeah. That will hurt it.
Cut it down.
And it just stick in somewhere?
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find a place where some threads cross. So I could use that one, any place that pulling on it to tie it off isn't gonna move
I
the
see.
whole string.
Okay.
And you can use your little barbecue skewer type thing here, pull it under. I think crochet hooks work really well for this too.
Oh, I see.
And Miss Megan likes bobby pins. So once we get this going, this really is like the only truly awkward part.
Okay.
She
got
takes,
I just need to do it once.
I would do it twice,
Twice.
and then we're going to use the skewer to poke it, the tail into the moss ball itself and hide it. So one thing she does that she taught me, clever girl. So if you take,
This.
yeah, and then use that and poke that under what could be a good junction to tie it to.
Ooh.
Only have to
Oh.
make sure. I did it the wrong way. I did it backwards. So I'm going to come out. See, there's a lot of things you can correct along the way. So I'm going to go out with
So I
a big
got this
bobby
part.
pin. Yeah. And I'm going to catch it. No, okay, I didn't do it. You do talk to yourself when you do this.
I
It's
noticed.
obligatory.
I noticed that you're not talking to me.
Oh, honey, it's not because I don't love you. Yeah.
All
Go
right.
back. Any way that you can get it under there is fine.
Okay. Just to stick it in.
Yeah.
I see.
I see what I'm doing wrong. I'm going with the curved end. What I need to do is go with the other end. And then hold that knot up.
I see. I see. I get
Yep.
it.
And then you've got a nice loop you can poke it into,
Uh-huh. Oh, this is good.
right? Really tight. And I think I'll do it again. As the ball dries out, it will shrink just a little bit.
What shrinks?
The whole
thing.
The
Ah.
moss can shrink a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 times
Okay.
over and under. Now is
Ugh.
when you can take your just the pressure of your hands and shape it a little bit if you want to.
Okay.
Make sure, give a little pressure at the top of the kokedama so you know this moss isn't climbing up.
Oh, you
Because
don't want them
You
to
don't want it
climb.
to climb up. You can even pull some of it back like this
Oh, okay.
because
Why
the-
is that?
because the plant tissue that is supposed to be above ground doesn't want to be wet all the time. And like on this one, I'm going
Okay.
to take it and just actually remove a little bit of it.
Oh. That's
So
a little
the roots
tricky.
want to be roots and the stems want to be stems.
I
And
see.
they don't survive by
Okay.
sharing their environment.
So, okay.
So
got it.
just kind of poke it down in there a little bit without breaking. Come back and fix that. And then you just round it up to your little heart's content. Make it
Uh-huh.
lopsided, make it whatever you want it to be.
Uh-huh. So if you want to hang it, what do you do?
You can find a place. There's a couple ways to display it. We have one of my favorites is a gnarly old log, and you can put some on here. You could put mine on here. You could
Oh.
put yours over there.
Oh, wow.
All right.
There's
You can
my
display it that
Zen
way.
garden.
Yeah, exactly. You could take anything that's kind of, if you have a bowl that you like at
Uh-huh.
home. Let me see if I can do this. Megan has these little holders,
Oh,
and you can hang them from the ceiling.
I see.
So
Okay.
it's kind of whatever your style choice
Mhm.
is.
I've seen where they have nice kind of tray or
yeah.
dish.
As long as, you want something that can take a little bit of moisture.
Okay.
So these are totally wet right now. We're not
Mhm.
going to water them for a while. And you get
Okay.
a sense of how heavy it is
It
because it's
is
so wet.
heavy. Yes.
So in maybe 4 or 5 days as a guest, depending on where you have it displayed, go in and pick it up. And if it's a whole lot lighter, it's time to soak it.
Okay. So
Okay?
soaking is the
Soak it,
best way.
You don't want to you need to get those roots and the whole root ball, which is sheltering our
Okay.
kokedama, really nice and moist.
Okay.
So maybe leave it in a tub for a little bit as you're getting ready to go to bed.
And then
put
you
it in the
said
sink.
warm water.
I like warm water. I don't like cold. I don't like hot. It just seems to me
I
if I was
see.
a plant, I prefer the warm.
If you were.
See who you're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
Or you can take where some of the string comes together and make a hanger out of the same thread and hang that up.
Okay.
You can make a little macrame. I think Megan at some point had a little macrame. The only problem with that is you have to make sure that you have some kind of tray below it because the
Mhm.
water will go down eventually. You don't want the macrame to
Okay.
begin to
To
rot.
make it that. Yeah.
If you have a bowl, a favorite bowl,
Okay.
it's really sky's the limit as long
So
as
you
it's
said about 4 to 5
4 to 5, give it
days?
4 to 5 days and see how much lighter it is.
Okay.
You don't want it to be wiffle ball light,
Mhm.
but you definitely want it to be lighter than this.
I see.
There are people who've, I've forgotten where they were and left them in the tub overnight. And as long as they get good drainage,
Oh,
they're
I
okay.
guess it's okay. It's a
So,
moss.
Yeah. Maybe once a month, take a little bit. You don't want to encourage these things to like really
Okay.
sprawl. So maybe once a month, take about a quarter strength fertilizer and soak it in that. Just to
Okay.
keep it healthy
All
and
right.
properly colored.
Okay.
Sometimes they will flower, just obviously depending on the plant.
Mhm.
But just do indeed make sure that you're displaying it in the proper kind of light. Stay away from opening and closing of doors. Stay away from heat vents,
Okay.
air conditioning vents. Kind of the common sense piece of
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
But
That depends on the plant that you're using.
yeah, but no plants really want to be in the path of
Oh, the
heat,
heat.
dry heat.
Okay.
Or air conditioning, or doors that are often opening and closing in the wintertime.
Never
they
thought
don't
of
like
that.
drafts.
I see.
No plants do. So that, in a nutshell, is Kokedama.
Kokedama.
Am I saying it right? Kokedama.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's easy. It makes a great gift because you made it. We have the kits that have all of this in there. Or you can just, write down a list that we made.
Mhm.
And go buy your own, whatever it needs. But don't you think it's easier than you expected?
Yeah, the biggest part was that test. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk this one.
All right.
But
So it's lovely. And
all
if
right.
everything gets like really gangly, obviously you just prune it like you would any other plant to keep it
Okay.
in some kind of
And
proportion.
you said after a year or so, you said something.
It just depends on how much good care it gets. I have had some that easily lasted. Mine, the last one I did easily lasted 8-9 months.
Mhm. Okay.
I had some go a full year.
Okay.
My friends went a full year.
So if it's done, we'll just take it
You
apart.
could take it apart and see if the root system is healthy and rewrap it.
Wrap it. Do the
Yeah.
same.
Or you could
process.
come and start all over and have fun.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
Whatever you want to do. It's
Good.
great party activity.
Yeah.
Have we ever had a gentleman come and do this?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and we have
Oh.
a couple of couples that came in
Yeah,
and did it
it's
together.
just-
It's a great team building.
Yeah,
exercise.
exactly right.
Oh,
It is very
wow.
team building because everybody sees everybody else's imperfections. It's everybody on the same playing field, which is always a good
That
thing.
is great.
All right.
Thank you, Lauren.
so
This
welcome.
is so much fun.
Good.
And this is gonna go home and it's gonna sit on my desk.
And you get this one too.
Do I?
Yes, you do.
Yes, there you go. All right.
All right. Good to go.
Now, let's see if people have
Sure.
questions.
That was amazing. I feel like you two could have a show on HGTV or something. You're so
Yeah,
enjoyable to
right.
watch. So entertaining. I felt like I was just kicking back watching a TV show. So great job to both of you. Huge applause all around. Great job.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to make this. I'm going to ask my husband if he wants to make it with me, but I don't think he's going to do it. But, we'll see, maybe. And also, it looks like the link to purchase the kits is fixed. It was not working earlier, but it's working now. Thank you, Megan. So anybody who does want to purchase the kit from Tagawa, you can do that. Or as they said, we have a list of the supplies. So if you live, up in Boulder or someplace really far away, you can go to any garden supply store and pick up what you need. So are there questions that anybody has?
I actually have a quick question.
Great.
I was wondering, so what kind of light do you want to put these in? Or does that depend on the plant that you put inside the moss?
Yeah, 100%. And that's why the labels are so important, because you can't change, just because you're doing this odd thing with the root ball, you can't change the plant's basic needs. So most of the ones that we've used are either part sun, soft sun, part shade. You can generally get away with that. We have also, I think we had pretty good luck doing Kokedama with a succulent.
You just want
Oh.
to water it more often
Well,
because
yeah.
the sun dries it out.
Yeah, and the other thing with the succulents, which want really pretty much a good deep drink and then dry for a while. They will do better if you have a slightly grittier mix, which makes it not hold together quite as easily,
Oh,
but it's still doable. It's
Oh,
still
wow.
doable.
Okay.
I mean, there are people who have made Kokedama and they kind of put little baby succulents all over it, and then they grow up and grow into that beautiful tight formation
Oh,
that
wow.
succulents can.
That
You just, yeah,
sounds
it's a little bit
good.
different approach. You still have to meet the plant's basic needs with light and water.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay,
That's a great gift.
that's great.
Yeah.
My other question was, if you want to put your kokedama on like a dish that you like or a bowl that you like, do you need to make sure it's like, how long would you drain it before you would put it in that bowl or dish so that
An
it's
hour.
not sitting in too much water for too
And you
long?
could also, just to protect the dish is kind of your concern.
Mm.
So it's not.
Well, no, it was more just so I didn't overwater or oversaturate the kokedama.
Yeah, 10, 20 minutes in the tub, and then I'd set it out and, I don't have any in my home currently. I don't have a very good house, because of the light, but there's no harm in just doing it at night, setting it out overnight, and then putting it back in this little home, whatever that may be, by the next morning.
Okay, so just let it drain in your sink or
Yeah.
whatever, and then put it back wherever it's living.
That's the easiest way to prevent furniture damage or anything.
Okay, great. Yay, I'm so excited to make this. This is amazing.
Excellent.
I was watching Miku making hers as you all went along. How did it go, Miku?
Yes, that's my daughter. Oh,
Yeah, hello, Junko's daughter. Don't you think she did great?
I have a very big plant, so I need to make a bigger ball in that,
Oh,
Maybe
Um,
a two-person project.
in that thing. Yeah.
I'll help you.
Yeah, she knows.
Thank you.
Great, great. Megan, can you bring that kit? Maybe we can show what comes with the kit.
And I want to know how many people are seriously considering making one. So think on that for a minute.
Okay, so the kit comes with this nice tray. And, oh, here is the gift. It's a
That's the moss.
moss. What kind of moss?
It's a sheet moss.
Sheet moss.
And this is moist, but it's in a Ziploc bag. So when I got it home, if you took the kit home before you're getting ready, I'd just fill it up with water and soak it one more time and then drain it and then
I
use
see.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this is that.
That's the half and
Half and
half
half.
peat moss and top quality potting soil. Don't skip on the soil because that's the whole support system for this plant. So don't buy the cheapest thing. Don't ever use soil from your garden. And just, there's great soil. We have great soil. Other places have great soil, but we love our soil. So yeah, you don't skimp on the soil ever, especially with houseplants because we've got no options. They've got nowhere
Right.
else to go.
That's right. And then
Little
this is
skewer.
the little skewer to poke thing in. And then what's in this one?
Ooh, what could it be?
Ah, okay, here you go.
Little thread.
Ah,
Yep. And this one is it almost feels kind of leathery or
Yeah,
something. I'm sure
it
it's just
is.
coated with something. Is it waxed? Is that what it is?
Waxed string is what
Yeah.
that one's called. If you look for it at any craft stores or anything, that'll be waxed string. And
Wax
then there's also a bobby pin in there if they choose to. use
That's
that
right.
method.
It helped. It
Yeah,
really
yeah,
helped
yeah,
to put
exactly.
the last piece on.
And you get
in
your own
there.
little canvas bag.
And whatever plant you choose, we'll have 3 options on the kits
Okay.
online. So this is one of the plant options, a spider plant. We have a pothos. Here,
Photos. Okay.
this one here.
You can step in, love.
Oh.
So they can see you.
And
Get
then,
in here.
hello, everyone. And then the Dracena, this is our 3rd option online for those kits. And you'll be able to note that whenever you make your order, which one you prefer.
okay, that's,
Thank
and
you
we'll
for
have
joining
this
me,
video, we'll have the video on our YouTube channel. So I'll send out the link and I'll post the link on our website also so that people can kind of rewatch.
All
your
right.
opening
Can we get
explanation.
a plug in? Can I have one more second? Miss
Sure.
Megan, come up. Can you?
Yeah.
Tell the folks about our special coming up in 2 weeks.
Yes, so if anybody is in the area and would like to join us, we have some special features at the Garden Center on the 25th and 26th of September. We're gonna have carriage rides where you can register to have a spot in a carriage ride. We're going to have the mounted police and canine force from Arapahoe County here doing some fundraising. We're gonna have food trucks, live music. It's really gonna be a fun enhanced shopping experience. So if you are in the area, please feel free to join us on
Love
the
to see ya.
25th and 26th. That would be fantastic.
Oh, that's
I
great.
did
Thank you
forget
for
to
sharing
remind
that.
you to tuck in the tails of the string. Just use your skewer or whatever you have handy and poke it right once you've got your 2 good knots and poke that in. It'll disappear right into the moss ball.
Yep, it did.
Speaking of those kits, so if somebody purchases a kit online, do they need to come to Tagawa Gardens to come pick it up?
Yes.
Yes, they would. At this time, we only have in-store pickup.
Perfect. Okay, so we can purchase online and then come and pick it up. Great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the next weekend, purchase it today and come next weekend and join the
Yeah.
festival and all in
It'll be
one.
good. It'll be good.
Yeah,
Happy fall, everybody. It's only a few days away.
that's right. That's
Um,
right.
I'd love to see you out here at Tagawa Gardens, the world headquarters of Tagawa Gardens. Would you believe that? Right here.
Right in this
Colorado.
office.
Yeah, that too. That too. Thanks for letting us in,
All
for
right.
inviting us into your homes.
All right. Thank you so much.
So much. Good job.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us. And we hope to see you again soon. Have a great day.
All right. Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for joining.